Well, this begins our 2021 practice for the day. I'm not sure if it's your first class or your second class. It is the second offering for Serasana Virtual. And it is truly an honor and a pleasure to begin this new year and this day with you guys. So as you make your way onto your mat, let's go ahead and begin in child's pose this morning. So you're gonna bring those big toes together. Work the weight of the body towards the heels as you send the hips back. Extend those arms towards the top of the mat. Wiggle if you need to, and then as you release your breath, bow your chest down, letting your forehead rest down on the mat. We'll begin by drawing a full belly breath in through our nose. Notice how your abdomen expands nice and wide like a giant balloon. And as you exhale, visualize yourself letting the air out of that balloon and resting the chest, the heart, the belly closer towards the earth. Inhaling through the nose, nice full breath in, shoulders strum away from the ears. And you'll exhale, release and let it all go. Maybe even feel the doming up the spine and the hips getting heavier. One more big giant cleansing breath in through your nose, soft fingers, abdomen expanding, crown extending. And then exhale, open mouth, sigh, sink, and let it all go. As you release and let this breath go and you bow your heart towards the earth, take your tongue, lick those lips, and then seal them to one another. As you seal the lips to one another, begin breathing in and out of your nose. As you begin that breath work from the nostrils and out of the nostrils, if your energy feels great this morning, take the tip of your tongue, lightly press it to the roof of the mouth to create a channel for your breath to flow. As you create this channel, you'll constrict the back of the throat and drag that breath back and forth as you inhale and exhale out of the nose. If your nose is stuffy or you need a cleansing breath, do what's necessary to get yourself comfortable and then rejoin or allow yourself to come back to that Ujjayi pranayama, also known as our victorious breath. Allowing the forehead to get more and more comfortable on the mat, or if it's not accessible to the earth at this moment, bend those elbows, stack those palms, or stack your fists so that you can anchor that space between our eyebrows down on to something comfortable. Tune into the sound of your breath. Is it entering fluidly, or is there still a little bit of stagnation that you need to release and surrender from? Do you feel your chest expanding as well as the upper back, the sides of your lungs? And when you decompress, do you feel the weight of the body rolling towards the heels? Take your time as you tune into the sound of the breath and to the actual breath itself. What's occurring in your body? What sensations, what emotions are you inviting or maybe even releasing? Surrendering to? Whatever it is for you, continue breathing in and out of the nose, allowing each breath to grow a little longer in length and either matching the length of that inhale or allowing that exhale to be a little longer today. Begin to give thanks and gratitude, love and compassion to yourself for showing up this morning, for rolling out this mat, for dedicating time and hopefully this year to yourself for health and wellness. Perhaps a smile is now on your face. And the features of the face begin to soften as well. Take a moment to scan from the tips of the fingers down to the very ends of your toes, observing with love, with light, and with pure gratitude. Take that opposite action and scan from the toes through the crown of the head and out through the tips of the fingers if they're the thing furthest away from the body. Begin to set an intention or a dedication, or perhaps you begin with your personal affirmation, this affirmation for 2020. It may be releasing, it may be inviting. There are numerous things you can guide your love and light towards, or there are numerous things that you can invite into your heart. Whatever feels most appropriate for you, whatever serves that higher purpose in you. Allow that to flow seamlessly into your body. Let it enter, let it release, and let it be. As you take this next breath in, draw it in fully, letting everything expand nice and big. And as you exhale, decompress, let everything go. Send that love and light out. If your hands are stacked, slowly begin to release, extending those arms towards the top of the mat. As you inhale, press the palms into the earth, lift your chest a couple of inches off the mat, pull the shoulders away from your ears. And as you exhale, begin to walk your hands towards that top right corner of the room. Stack that left hand on top of the right. Before you bow your chest down, turn the left side of your ribs towards that right side of your body, and then exhale, release, and bow down. Align the ears along the same plane as your biceps as you bow your chest down. Draw a full breath in, extending through the crown. And as you let that breath go, send the hip towards this back left corner as you relax the shoulders and the chest. 2 more inhales here, just extending and opening up the body. Another big cleansing breath in through that nose, and then try to keep that constriction as you exhale that breath out. On your next inhale, press into that right palm, lift the head up, walk your hands back towards center, and then exhale, take your hands towards that top left corner. Right hand on top of the left, rotate the rib cage towards that left side, and then you'll exhale to release and bow down. As you release and bow down, once more, you're extending through the crown of the head. You're unlocking the right shoulder away from the ear. You're bowing it all down as you let that breath go. 2 more inhales here through that side body. So visualize the length, the expansion. 1 more big cleansing breath here. Letting that breath go. Pressing into that left palm. Inhale, lift your head, walk both hands back towards center, and then exhale, surrender the heart, surrender the hips further towards the heels. As you take your next breath in, press your palms into the mat, begin to lift your chest up. Slide your palms so that now they're underneath or stacked in line with your shoulders, and bring those knees into place so that they're in line with your hips. Wiggle the hips from the right side of the room to the left side of the room, taking your time, looking over the shoulders if you'd like, breathing in deeply. Letting that breath go fully. Just a couple more. Breath in and that breath out. Last one. Breath in and that breath out. Then finding stillness here in tabletop position. Curling the toes under. All 10 toes tuck, and you'll exhale. Slide the hips towards the heels and let the bottom of the feet get a little length as you stretch. As you take your next breath in, lift your chest up just a couple of inches, maybe even just feel your shoulders pull back and down. And then as you exhale, bow your belly down, roll your pinky toes out to the edges of your mat to get a little more length through the bottom of the foot. On your next inhale, lift the chest, roll your toes back in. And then as you exhale, sink the hips towards the heels to stretch that big toe out. 1 more. Inhale, we lift up slightly. Exhale, we start to send the weight of the body back and roll our little toes out to the edges. Inhale, we lift and roll the big toe back in towards midline, and then exhale, stretch that big toe out as you shift the weight back. On your next inhale, look to the top of your mat, roll the weight of the body forward, lift your feet off the earth, and a couple of circles with those ankles in each direction, maybe even popping or crackling the toes. Take the tops of your feet, pitter-pat them on the mat just to bring back that sensation into the body. Let yourself look down either at the top of the mat or at your thumbs. Then go ahead and pause, adjust the hips as necessary. Lift your right hand off the mat. And as you lift that right hand off the mat, you're just taking your wrist and twirling it in each direction, finding mobility and fluidity in that wrist. Return that right palm down to the mat. Lift your left hand now. Once more, you're going to take a few circles in each direction. You all have your dominant hand or that one that does the writing for you. And so one might be a little more tender than the other. Go ahead and place that left palm down, grip into the earth with the pads of your fingers and the knuckles of your hands as you suction cup the palm of the hand. Curling your toes under on an inhale, we'll drop our belly down, retract our shoulders, and then lift the chest up as that breath enters the body. On our exhale, we'll press the tops of the feet into the earth. We'll press our palms into the ground, doming our spine, looking for our belly button. Inhale that cow pose. There's a soft bend at the elbows as the shoulders pull back and we retract our shoulders. And then there's that exhale as we protract the shoulders, looking for the navel. 1 more. Inhale, cow pose. Breathe fluidly. And then exhale, cat it all back, sending those ribs together as you look for the belly button. And then inhale, neutralize that spine. As you neutralize the spine, bring your big toes together and bring your knees together. Then curl the left toes under. And as you curl the left toes under, inhale, that right leg extends back. If your right heel lifted up really high, bring it back down and then draw the navel up towards the spine to find that core connection. You're welcome to stay right here, or if you'd like a little bit more, taking that left hand forward, pulling the shoulder away from the ear, take this bird dog extension. With or without the arm extended, we're going to draw a breath in, and now we'll exhale, pull the elbow and the knee in towards our heart space, or just the knee. Inhale, reach nice and long. Exhale, tuck it all back in. Inhale, take your time as you reach. And as you exhale, take your time pulling it all in. If you lose stability, no big deal. Then inhale, extending long. If your hand is floating, drop that palm down to the mat, crossing this right leg over to the left side. Squeeze your thighs. And then exhale, look over that left shoulder, pressing your right hip towards that right side of the room. Feel that right heel reach towards that back left corner as you breathe in through your nose. And as you let that breath go. One more big breath in here, opening up the hips, squeezing those thighs, letting that breath go. On your next inhale, keep your legs the way they are, but turn your gaze or your view towards that top end of your mat. Bend your right knee behind your left. Curl those heels towards your body. So instead of sending the blades of the feet out to the edges of the mat, today, bring the blades of your feet close to your thighs, to your calves. Take a breath in. And as we exhale, start to send the weight of the body back, and your left knee might lift up, not a big deal. If this is too much for you, then keep that left knee down instead and walk your hands a little bit closer. You're going to feel that length through the glute. We're trying to release. We're trying to open up. If you need a little bit more, you can begin to slide that left heel a little further towards the glutes, and then find yourself in a small seated position. If you have any issues with the knee, you might want to extend this left leg forward instead. But if you're content here, stay here. We're not going to be here very long. Draw a breath in. The top of that left foot is on the earth. Let that breath go. Another full breath in here. Let that breath go. And that last one, breath in. And you'll exhale, let that breath go. If you're still towards the top of the mat, stay as you are. If you let the hips come to the back end of the mat, looking forward, bring those palms towards the top of the mat, release and let that left knee rest onto the earth. Extend your right leg behind you. Take the left toes out towards that left edge. Lift your right leg up once more, bend that right knee. And as you bend that right knee, couple of giant circles with this right knee in one direction and then the opposite direction. As you take that next inhale in, you'll extend that right leg behind you, drop the toes to the back end of the mat, slide them over towards that right edge of the earth, send the left toes to the left side, work the weight of the body back until you're inhaling and lifting your body into that gate pose or all the way up. So you're essentially have your right leg extended to the right side and you have this left knee down on the earth. As those arms reach up, we'll breathe in fully. And as we exhale, we'll pull the heads of the elbows down, opening up through our chest, but zipping the middle part of our body up. Inhale, those arms reach up. And then exhale, releasing that right hand down to the right side, extending the left fingertips towards that right edge. If you dropped your left shoulder down, spin your heart open, at least extend the fingertips up towards the sky, even if they don't go over towards your right side. A breath in and that breath out. One more breath in. And that breath out. On your next inhale, both arms reach up towards the sky. And as we exhale, the hands release down to the mat. We'll walk the palms maybe about 5-6 inches forward. Slide that right foot out a little bit more. And then exhale, send the weight of the body back. So we're stretching the inner thigh. As you stretch that right inner thigh, you're welcome to rest the forearms down on the mat. You can even have a really generous bend in this right knee if you need it, or you can keep your glutes or the seat elevated up towards the sky if that's better for you. All of the above are fine, or if you have a creative variation, let that creative variation bring you comfort in the body. Take another full breath in. Letting that breath go, surrendering the abdomen, surrendering all thoughts that no longer serve you. One more breath in. Letting that breath go. As you take your next inhale, palms down to the mat, the hips begin to lift up if they were over to the back side of the mat. Go ahead and work this right knee back into place, a couple of circles with the right knee in one direction and then the opposite direction. Wiggle your hips right side to left side, and if you want to lift the wrist up for any reason, go for it. We're going to go ahead and take 3 roller coaster cat-cows. So you're going to take the tops of your feet down to the mat, slip the hips back. Now your arms are extended further. As the arms are extended further, draw a breath in, bend those elbows, scoop the chest low, lift the heart up high. That retraction occurs in this cow pose. As you exhale, dome your spine, send the weight of the body back, press the palms into the earth for cow. Inhale, roller coaster your way forward. Exhale, roller coaster, cat pose back. And one more. Inhale, grip the fingers into the earth, lift the chest up with gratitude, and then exhale, dome the spine, sending the hips back. On your next breath in, neutralize into that nice tall spine or that tabletop position. From that tabletop position, as you take your next breath in, knees come together, toes are closed. We'll go ahead and tuck our right toes under and inhale, left leg goes back and out. As that left leg goes back and out, draw a breath in, draw the navel up and in for firmness. And then if you'd like, extend your right arm towards the front. Full belly breath in. And now as we exhale, tuck the elbow and the knee in towards your heart. Inhale, extend and reach nice and long, and the arm can stay down on the mat or the palm. Exhale, take your time, pull it in, lose the stability if so. Inhale, reaching long. Exhale, pulling it all back in. And then inhale, we'll extend nice and long. On our exhale, the hand goes down to the mat. Cross this left leg over to the right side. We'll squeeze our thighs and look over the shoulder. Big breath in, big breath out. Feel your hip opening up on this left side as you send the weight of the body towards the left and you press through this left foot to that top back right corner. One more inhale here. Letting that breath go. As you take your next breath in, keep your leg where it's at. Look to the top of your mat. Bend that left knee behind your right. Instead of the blades going out, tuck the blades in towards your shin bone. And as you exhale, work the weight of the body back. You continue to slide the right foot towards the left glute. Stay down if you're happy here, or lift up and work the weight of the body as you come up nice and tall. This is a little more challenging. The balance is a little more difficult. Just feel yourself tighten everything in, relax those shoulders away from your ears, draw that full breath in. Regardless of where you're at, we're just here 2 more inhales. And if you find yourself swaying like you're on a boat, then maybe take some blocks and place your hands on the blocks so that you can stabilize your frame. One more breath here. Letting that breath go. And then releasing the fingertips down to the mat. If you are up, clawing or walking your hands forward. As you claw and walk those hands forward, slowly begin to extend and release this left leg behind you. As that left leg goes behind you, lift that left leg up towards the sky, a couple of circles in each direction in one motion, and then the opposite direction. Pausing here, extending that left leg behind you, sliding the left foot out towards that left edge of the mat, blade of the foot down onto the earth, right foot hooks towards the middle, and then inhale, walk your hands towards your right knee, and then circle sweep those arms up towards the sky. Beautiful job, everyone. Draw a breath in here. And then exhale, your elbows pull down as your heart extends forward and up. Inhale, arms reach all the way up. And then exhale, that left hand releases to that left leg, and our right fingertips reach towards the left side of the room. If your shoulder closed down, open that shoulder, pull the shoulder head back and down, and then maybe your arm extends directly up towards the ceiling. Be sure not to hyperextend the shoulder. What I mean by that is extending behind the range of motion. Take another big giant breath in here. Let that breath go. And then inhale, we come back to center. Those arms reach up towards our ceiling. Exhale, we'll fold, releasing our palms down to the mat. As we fold and release the palms down to the mat, stack wrist in line with the shoulders. Maybe slide this left foot out a little bit more. Allow this right foot to hook to the center a little bit more. Send the weight of the body back as you exhale and release either the elbows or the forehead down to the ground, opening up through that inner thigh. Connect your pelvic floor muscle or even that perineum muscle, depending if, female or male. And if that's where you're at, engaging that pelvic floor muscle or that perineum muscle that's known as our mula bandha. So just allows core strength through the center or through the root of our body. And it's a soft lock. It's nothing intense. It's just allowing yourself to pull that canopy up and find a little strength there. Another 2 inhales here. One more big breath in here. And you'll let that breath go. As you take your next breath in, begin to lift and rise up. As you lift and rise up, palms are in line, or the wrists are in line with the shoulders, sliding this left foot back, lift that left leg, a few circles in each direction, and then return that knee down to the earth. Wiggle those hips right side to left side. And we'll take one more round of cat-cows. This is yogi's choice. If the yogi prefers to take the roller coasters, then take the roller coasters. Or if you prefer our traditional cat-cows, stay stacked as you are. And then you'll inhale, drop the belly down, tilt the chest and chin up. Exhale, either dome your spine up towards the sky and shift the hips back for roller coaster, or stay right here. Inhale, cow pose. Notice the fluidity of your breath and the motion of your body. Exhale, cat it up. And last one, inhale, cow pose. And exhale to cat it back up. As you take your next breath in, neutralize the spine. As you neutralize that spine, tuck your toes under. Send the weight of the body back. Lift the kneecaps off the earth. Begin to tilt your hips up towards the sky as we come into a peak or an inverted V, also known as our downward facing dog. Begin to march or paddle your feet out as you bend that right knee, straightening the left, switching it up, back and forth. It can be really slow, or if you prefer a little faster pace, then go ahead and increase the pace that you're moving. But if you can take it slow, enjoy this moment, enjoy this time. Just a couple more as you press the heart towards the thigh, as you relax the head down towards the ground and the shoulders pull away from our ears. Go ahead and pause when you're ready in the still downward facing dog. Grip into the pads of the fingers. Try not to collapse the weight into the heels of your hands. Instead, think of strength through the fingers and the knuckles. As you take your next breath in, lift your heels up nice and high. You're still looking at your kneecaps or your toes, and then bending those knees, let that breath go here. As you inhale, tilt your chin, looking towards your thumbs. And as you exhale, walk your hands either towards your thumbs, or your hands can walk towards your toes if you prefer. Exhale at the top for a forward fold. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway, a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. And in this flat back, if you've concaved your belly down, pull the ribs in nice and firm towards midline. Exhale, release and lower down. Separate your feet as wide as you'd like. Press with the pinky side blades of your feet, and then bend your knees as much as you'd like. Grab those elbows, rock your head from right side to left side, noticing what's going on with the hamstrings. Noticing what's going on with the low back as well as the shoulders and the neck. As you swing the heart right side to left side, or even from the top of your mat to the back of your mat, just find that elongation and that full breath in and that full breath out. Go ahead and release. Fingertips go down to the earth. Walk your feet back towards one another. And when you rise up, it's with a big giant smile. Bent knees, and inhale, we'll lift and reverse all the way up. Hands fan out to the sides. Arms reach up towards the sky. Palms kiss over our head. And then we'll exhale. Bring our hands into prayer and at our heart space. Thumbs rest at our sternum. Shoulders pull back and down. Anchor through the soles of your feet. Spread those toes nice and wide, maybe even shift the weight of the body right to left or front to back, and then find stability. As you draw your next breath in, softly bend those knees and circle sweep your arms back up towards the sky. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down, look up towards the sky, or at least between the wall and the ceiling, and then inhale, arms reach back up. Exhale, forward fold, lowering the palms down to the mat. Step back with that right foot. Plant the palms down firmly. Step back with that left foot. Tilt your hips up towards the sky for that downward facing dog. In our downward facing dog, inhale, lift your heels, roll the vertebrae forward into plank. Shoulders are here over the wrists, the knees release to the earth, the elbows curl and tuck in towards our body as we exhale and lower our chest all the way down. As our frame releases to the earth, slide your hands beyond your mat, either flat palms or fingertips, whichever feels best for you. Pull your shoulders up, then let your shoulders slide down, bring the shoulder blades together. Allow the ribs to come into contact, so zipping them up. Inhale, we'll lift up for a little modified Cobra. It may be half an inch, it may be centimeter, it might be 5 inches. It's up to you. Breath in, strong through the crown. Exhale, we bend the elbows, releasing the body back down. Inhale, lift up. Use the full expression of your breath. On the exhale, your right shoulder releases to the middle. You're retracting that right shoulder blade and looking to that left side, gaining that little length and stretch through your neck. One more inhale here, just pulling the shoulder head back and away. Inhale, we come back to center. Exhale, we'll release our left shoulder down, looking over towards our right side. Let yourself dip the chest down as you pull the shoulder head back so that you can retract this left shoulder as well. One last breath here. Let it go. And then inhale, come back to center, look towards the top of your mat or forward. And then exhale, bend those elbows, release your nose down to the mat. Slide your hands back down to your breastbone, walk those thighs towards one another, curl the toes under, pull the elbows in. Suction cup your belly up, and then inhale, plank on your knees to big toes together to exhale, child's pose. Slip the hips back, bow your chest down. If you need to bend the elbows for any reason whatsoever, your neck, your shoulder are tight, bend those elbows. Or if you prefer, walk your elbows a little closer towards your ears. Bending now at the elbows, palms can come together as you rest your thumbs somewhere along the vertebrae. Big breath in here. Big breath out. Another full belly breath in, just observing and enjoying where you're at. Last one, inhale through the nose. Let that breath go. If your thumbs happen to be on your vertebrae, slowly begin to release, extending the palms forward. Or if those arms are crossed, extend your arms forward. Press the palms into the earth. Inhale, we lift up into our tabletop. As we lift up into that tabletop, tucking the toes under, plank off our knees to exhale, tilting the hips up for downward facing dog. As we come into downward facing dog, inhale, the heels lift up nice and high, the knees bend generously, look forward or look back, walk your hands towards the top or walk your hands towards the back. Exhale for your forward folds. Inhale, lift it up halfway, a flat back. Exhale, bow it back down. And now a soft bend of the knees. We'll inhale, reverse and rise all the way back up. Circle sweep those arms up to the sky. Exhale, pull the heads of the elbows down, shine your light up. Inhale, those arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold, the palms release down to the mat. This time, step back with that left foot. And as you step back with that left foot, drop your left knee down to the ground, top of the left foot on the earth, peace fingers press into the ground as you lift your chest up. And then with that strength, inhale, we lift all the way up. On our exhale, pull the elbow heads down to the sides. Inhale, those arms reach up. And on our exhale, our hands come towards this right quad, releasing them on the quad. Now, I want you to imagine that somebody's just taken their fist and given your belly a little bitty punch. From that little bitty punch, this is going to allow that right hip to shift back and that left one to shift forward, getting a little more elongation through our hip flexor. Take a breath in here. Lift up through the crown. Let that breath go. Another full breath in here. Letting that breath go. And then on your next inhale, looking forward, arms reach up towards the sky. Exhale, the hands come down. They'll frame the right foot. Take your left foot, hook it over towards the right edge of the mat. Bring your right hand and your left hand towards that top left corner as you exhale and bow your chest down in this variation of a downward facing dog with the upper portion of our body and a somewhat variation of our either lizard / warrior 2 on the knee position. Take an inhale here. Open up through this right thigh. Let that breath go. On your next breath in, press into your palms. Walk your hands back towards your body. You'll leave the right fingertips down, and as the right fingertips press into the earth, inhale, cartwheel, and rise up for warrior 2 on this left knee, and that right foot aligns. Align the heel to the back leg. Arms reach forward like a long board. Back hand is down. Do your best not to send the weight of the body back or the weight of the body forward, but instead dropping that back left hand down, flipping that right palm. Inhale, reverse your warrior here on the knee. Draw a breath in. Let that breath go. One more inhale, and then exhale, extended side angle. That right forearm is on the thigh. You'll extend and lift that left arm up like a rainbow towards the ceiling. Full belly breath in. That full belly breath out. On your next inhale, reverse the warrior, left hand back, right arm extends towards the back. And now we'll exhale, cartwheel our hands to frame that right foot. As we frame that right foot, we'll extend that left leg towards the back of the room, walking the knee a couple of inches forward for stability, curling the back toe, lifting that back knee, plant those palms down, step your right foot back as you exhale into a downward facing dog. From that downward facing dog, lift the heels, create a circle with each foot going out in the opposite direction, and then rotating inward. It's a little harder inward. And then pause as you exhale, releasing the head down, tilting the hips up. One more inhale here. And that exhale here. On your next breath in, heels lift up, our vertebrae rolls forward for plank. Drop down to our knees, squeeze our elbows in. Exhale, lower your chest, your head all the way down. Hands stay close to our breastbone. Inhale, we lift up for a baby cobra. If your back is tight and tender, take your legs out wide. Otherwise, keep those thighs tight. Exhale, when you're ready, release and lower down. Inhale, come back to tabletop or plank on the knees to plank off the knees to exhale, downward facing dog. As you inhale, lift the heels, bend those knees, looking forward. Walk or step your feet in between your thumbs as you exhale for a forward fold. Inhale, we'll lift up halfway, a flat back. Exhale, we'll release and bow it all the way back down. Inhale, we'll take our time as we drag those arms to the sides, up to the sky until we're finally nice and tall. Exhale, we'll pull the heads of the elbows down. Inhale, those arms extend all the way back up. And exhale, we'll forward fold, lowering those palms down to the earth. Anchoring through that left foot, take your right foot, step it back. And as you do, drop that right knee down to the mat. Top of your right foot on the earth, fingertips or the peace fingers press until you lift up. And then inhale, lift it up for our low lunge. In our low lunge, elbows pull down as we let our breath go. Inhale, they reach back up. Exhale, both palms come to the left quad. Once more, imagine somebody giving you that little kiss or that little nudge in your belly, and it shifts this left hip back and it brings this right hip forward. So you're engaging this right glute as well. Breathe in through the nose as the shoulders drop down. Breathe out of the nose if possible. That breath out, I know you're finding that length through that hip flexor. As you take your next inhale, look forward. If you're looking over to the left side, sweep your arms up. And then exhale, your hands come down. They'll frame your left foot. As you frame your left foot, take your right foot, hook it over towards the left edge of your mat. Take your right hand, left hand. They both extend towards that top left corner as you bow your chest down. You're allowing the ears to be in line with your biceps or somewhere along those arms. You're really bending deep into this left hip. So you're feeling it in that left hip. And if it's too intense, then lift your chest up. That's completely fine. Take one more big giant breath here. Let that breath go. Surrender the body. As you take that next inhale, lift your heart up, looking towards your thumbs. Your fingertips begin to walk towards your body. Tense your left fingertips, press into the left palm, and then inhale, sweep that right arm up and down and back until you're in warrior two on your knees. If your shoulders are up here, drop those shoulders down. I have a tendency of always having my shoulders up, so it's a reminder for me as well to release, to let go, to extend. Dropping that right hand to the back thigh, flip that left palm. Remember, stay right where you are. The only thing that you're moving is your arm and opening up the chest. If you went too far, then bring those ribs a little further towards the front instead. One more inhale here, and then exhale, extended side angle. That left forearm rests on the thigh as you extend and lift that right arm up towards the ceiling. Pull and wrap the shoulder back and away from your body. Palm points towards your right side. You're breathing in fully. You're feeling that length through this right side of the body, and letting that breath go. All on your breath in time. Inhale, reverse it. So keep the body, the legs the same, but the thumbs and the arms reverse back. Exhale, take your time, cartwheeling your hand to frame this left foot. Extend that right leg behind you. Walk that right knee forward just a couple of inches to stabilize the frame. Curling the back toes, lifting that back knee, planting the palm down. Step your left foot back, tilt the hips up for downward facing dog. Breathe in through the nose here. Breathe out of the nose here. On your next inhale, lift your heels, roll into plank. On those knees or off, it's your choice. Elbows in, belly is tight. We'll exhale, release all the way down. Inhale, we'll rise up for another either baby cobra or maybe full cobra if you prefer. If you're in full cobra, shoulders are in line with the wrist. And if you're like me, double jointed, be soft with your elbows. Look forward. If you have your shoulders up towards your ears, grow through your crown, reach through the neck. One last breath here. And then all on your breath and time, release and lower the chest down, curling the toes under, tucking those elbows in, plank on our knees to exhale, child's pose, sliding or slithering the hips back. Bow your chest down once more if you prefer to bend those elbows and stacking the hands or even the arms and resting the third eye, that space between our eyebrows, then that's perfectly fine. Or elbows come in closer, palms kiss, and then you send the prayer hands towards the spine as the thumbs rest on the vertebrae. Big inhale here. Big exhale here. One more belly breath in. Feel that length and that expansion. And let that breath go. As you take your next breath in, your arms extend forward. If they're not already there, lift up into your tabletop. From your tabletop, tuck the toes, lift those knees, tilt your hips up for downward facing dog. Inhale, the heels lift up, our knees will bend. We'll walk or step our feet forward as we exhale for a forward fold. You always have the option to walk your hands to your feet if you prefer. Inhale, lift up halfway, a flat back. Exhale, release and lower all the way back down. And then inhale, we'll rise all the way up. Drag your body, take your time, no rush. Circle sweep those arms when you're ready up to the sky. Let the palms kiss, and then we'll exhale, bring our hands into prayer and at our heart space. Take a moment here for yourself. Reflect on the moment you're in. Reflect on your affirmation or the intention you set for you. Breathe in through the nose. Let that breath go. One more inhale, and as you exhale, if your eyes are closed, blink them open, release your palms to your sides. Stabilizing through your left foot, we'll inhale, lift that right leg up. As we lift that right leg up, we're going to flex the right foot and turn the knee out towards this right side. You're slowly going to begin to bring the heel of your right foot to the left quad. Just tap it. So this is going to force you to find some stability in the body, right? Because you're on this one leg, and now you've got a little dynamic movement. So when you're ready, if you'd like to go into tree pose, go ahead and spin that thigh open now because you have a little more external rotation. And then you can drop either the ball of the foot down to the ground or send the sole of the foot below the kneecap or above the kneecap. Beautiful. I see some beautiful trees being created. Nice work. Keep in mind, this always occurs. We push the hip, this left hip out towards that left side. Instead of pushing the hip out towards the left side, bring it in so that it's straight, like you're a tall pole just reaching up. Arms can go anywhere you'd like. Try your best not to vulture or Vulcan grip into the mat with the toes. Instead, think of those toes as branches or as roots opening up. If you prefer not to do that tree pose, you can always come to half lotus, where if you're tapping the heel into the quad, you can slide the foot up and release or surrender the knee down. So it's a different variation. Neither is incorrect. Not one is better than the other. They're just different. Just to suit your needs this morning. One more inhale here. Let that breath go. If you're still in tree and you're finding that focal point and your ease and you're steady, stay there. If you're ready to surrender it, bring those palms together. As the palms come together, release that tree pose, step that right foot down, exhale the hands to your sides. Lift the left leg, it needs some love. And if you stepped off the mat, stay off your mat, or if you need to go to the wall, go to the wall. All those things that are there, they're your resources. Neither is a crutch. It's all about finding and meeting yourself where you're at in the moment. All on your time, go ahead and anchor through that right foot now. Strong quad. So when you think of strong quad, it's not just pulling that kneecap up, but it's thinking of your butt. It's thinking like that glute needs to lift up, and that's where you're at. So when you're ready, inhale, lift that left leg up. Right now, you know immediately, and I'm talking on purpose so that you can find stability. You haven't pushed the hip out because the knee's in line. But the second you start to spin the knee out and tap the heel to the quad, you start to find yourself negotiating with the body. So negotiate with it and find stability, right? There you go. Beautiful. Nice adjustments, everyone. When you're ready, if you're ready to take either that half lotus or the tree pose, then find your variation of tree. And it could be bus stop 1, bus stop 2. I call bus stop 3, where the sole of the foot is as high to the groin area as possible. And one side to the other might vary. Line the knee, align the hip so that it's pointing out towards that left side. Your arms or your branches, sway them or find stillness. Give yourself some grace here. That's the thing that we typically give to others and forget to give and retain for ourselves. So give yourself a little grace if you're wobbly. Laugh it out. Laughter is our joy, our contentment. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, enjoy. I can't see everyone, and that's okay, but I do enjoy the ability to see those trees through the frames right now. So you guys do your thing. You've got just another 2 inhales, and it's okay if you get wobbly. Find your focal spot. What is it that you're focusing on? Hopefully something that's not moving. Otherwise, you're moving with it. Last breath in. Palms together, hands up prayer when you're ready. If you need one more inhale here in that tree pose, you take it. Or if you're ready to surrender, step that left foot down, release the hands to the sides, lift that right ankle, shimmy those hips side to side. Seems like somebody got dropped. I see your back. Welcome back. There you go. All right. If you moved anywhere from your mat, go ahead and work your way back to the top of the mat. And as you work your way to the top of your mat, shake, shimmy those hips. Take yourself and get yourself situated, and then soft bend of the knees. Inhale, circle sweep those arms up towards the sky. Exhale, keep the ribs together, send the elbow heads down, shine your love light up and let it return into your heart. Inhale, those arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold, your palms release down to the mat. Step back with that right foot, plant the palms down, step back with that left foot, tilt your hips up for downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your heels, roll the vertebrae into plank, release to the knees. Take the big toes together and exhale, slip the hips back for that child's pose. We're here as a transition, so draw a breath in. Let that breath go. One more inhale and let that breath go. As we take our next breath in, we rise back up into that tabletop position. From our tabletop position, curling those toes, lifting our knees, the hips go up for downward facing dog. As you take your next breath in, that right leg extends up towards the sky. Bend the knee and then stack your hips. And as you do this, just a few circles to notice that hip mobility in each direction. And then extend back into that 3-legged dog. And as you exhale, pull your right knee into your chest. Step your foot anywhere it lands. If it lands in between those thumbs, that's where you're going. If it lands halfway in between your foot and your thumbs, then take that right hand, slide the foot forward. Spin the back blade so you're in warrior 2 position. Anchor through the fingertips and then inhale, rise up for warrior 2. It's all about taking our time. Now from here, if your right knee collapsed towards the center, I want you to pull it back into place. Get yourself adjusted. Arms extend long. Back hand down, flip that right palm. Keep the hips stable. Reverse that warrior. Draw that breath in here. Allow the arch to stay strong through that left foot. And then exhale, extended side angle. Forearm on your thigh. Right arm lifts all the way up. Left arm lifts all the way up. If your arm extended behind the body, bring it back into line. Pull the shoulders back and down. One more inhale. Letting that breath go, then inhale, reverse that warrior. Sweep the thumb back, and now we'll exhale. Cartwheel our hands to frame that front foot. Pop or spin so that you're on the ball of your left foot. Plant the fingertips down. Slide your right foot back. Exhale into your downward facing dog. From that downward facing dog, inhale, extend and lift that left leg up. Bend the knee and stack the hip. Just a few circles here in one direction with this knee, and then the opposite direction. And then inhale back into that 3-legged dog extension. A lot of times people like to bend the knee, but if you can, extend it long. And now exhale, pull the knee into your chest. Lift your right heel high. Look in between your thumbs, step your foot anywhere. Again, if it's halfway, grab that calf with the left hand, step it forward versus forcing a jerking movement. Taking your time as you breathe in, spin that back blade down for warrior 2, and then inhale, cartwheel and rise. Keep that front left leg bent. It's at a 90-ish degree angle. If it's a little less, no big deal. If it's beyond the heel, that's not a safe place for us, so slide it back. Backhand down, flip that left palm, inhale, reverse your warrior. Sit into the stance, press through your right pinky side blade. One more inhale, strong glute, and then exhale, extended side angle. Lift and extend that right arm up. Feel this right hip opening up so it's extending and reaching like a long string from your hand down to that arch of your foot. One more breath here. Let that breath go. And then when you're ready, inhale, reverse the warrior. Trace that left thumb back, and then exhale. Cartwheel the hands, frame the left foot. You're on the ball of your right foot, taking your time, stepping that left foot to the back. Our hips lift up for downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heels, bend those knees, lower them down to the mat. Exhale, child's pose. If you wanted to go into plank pose, to that cobra, or even upward facing dog, by all means do it if it's something that you're craving. If it's not, then join me here in that child's pose. And if you made your way through plank to cobra or upward facing dog, and then back to downward facing dog, join us in child's pose when you're ready. Big breath in, big breath out. One more. Letting it go. As we take our next breath in, we all rise back up into our tabletop. And as we come into our tabletop, wiggle the hips so that the knees are once more in line with the hip points. Stabilize through your right hand. It might slide a little bit to the center. Inhale, that left arm goes up towards the sky, and then we'll exhale, thread the needle. Bring that left hand between your right arm and your right thigh. Surrender that left ear down. Reach the crown of the head. Stay right where you're at. Or if you need a little bit more, maybe take that right hand towards the top corner of your mat or up towards the ceiling. Elbow can bend, hand can come to the small of the back. You can also just leave the fingertips tended there. Press your left fingernails into the ground. Rotate or feel your shoulder reaching towards this right side. I either like a kickstand leg, so I can always kick my right leg out, or I also like to cross my left ankle over my right ankle for a little more stability as I tuck my left toes. You might like one versus the other. You might like neither, and that's okay. Big breath in here. Big breath out. If you happen to have the leg extended or the arm up and back or forward, everyone release, bringing your fingertips back down to the mat. Once that right hand is back down to the mat, inhale, we'll extend that left arm up and maybe a couple of shoulder circles in each direction, letting that hand return to the mat when you're ready. We'll switch it out. Left hand comes to the center. We're stabilizing our shoulder and our body. Inhale, right arm goes up. Exhale, right hand threads through. Take that right temple down to the mat. Keep your hips elevated. Start to work with your body's abilities. Do your best not to force it into something it's not quite ready for. Be patient with yourself. Be gentle. There are days when you know you need a push. And there are days when you can tell yourself, back off. Whichever it is for you today, just honor yourself. Only you know the answer to that, whether it's a push a little more or give yourself a little grace. Another inhale here, reaching through the crown of the head, letting that breath go. If you happen to have the legs extended or the arm to the top or behind you, everyone release until you're able to anchor that left palm down, pressing into the left palm. Inhale, right arm slides out and under. Couple of circles to release this right shoulder in each direction. And then we'll release that palm down. Only when you're ready. You may take a few rounds of cat-cows or even just hip circles or shimmy the hips towards the back, whatever feels right for you, but we're working our way onto our back. So when you're ready, spin your body, bring those glutes down to the mat, keep those knees bent, hands behind the hamstrings, slowly support your vertebrae back as you tuck those knees in towards your chest. As you tuck those knees in towards your chest, place your hands on your kneecaps and a couple of circles with your knees in one direction and then the opposite direction. And then work your way back to center, lowering the sole of your left foot down. That right leg goes up. Your hands are going to interlace around your right hamstring with a couple of circles with your ankle in each direction. And then you'll release, cross that right ankle over to the left quad. Find the weight or the gravity taking over with this right leg. Lift the left foot, thread your needle. Your right hand goes through the triangle, your left hand goes on the outside edge. Gently guide the left knee in towards the body. Sometimes people enjoy the tailbone lifting up, but if you can keep that tailbone anchored down or releasing down and the hip points anchoring into the earth, it might give you a little more length. Just make sure wherever you're at, there's more comfort versus a sensation of discomfort or pain even. Gauge it on a scale from 1 to 10. I always like to say 1 is little, like no sensation. 10 is you're holding your breath. So we want to be around a 7 where we can breathe, we feel it. It's releasing through time, through the breath. Two more inhales here. And that last big belly breath in. We'll release. Go ahead and let the sole of your left foot drop down. Cross this right leg all the way over towards that left side. Now you have two different options here. One, you can lift those knees up and let the blades of your feet press against the shin bone, just like we did when we first began. Or if you prefer that longhorn variation, then this time you can send the blades of your feet out to the edges, and then your hands can hold on either to the shin bone, down to the blades of your feet, your choice. Whichever you decide on, breathe in through the nose and breathe out of the nose. If the blades are out, you're going to feel it more through the outside edge of the glute and the hamstring attachment. If you have the blades of your feet close to your shin bone and you're drawing those knees into your chest, you're going to feel it in the hip flexors. So just give you a little bit of a point of reference where you may be feeling those sensations. You're also going to feel it in the pelvic floor muscle or the perineum muscle if you're squeezing that up and in for stability. One more breath in. And that breath out. If you're in that longhorn, release. If you have those blades close to the shin bones, gently release. Both legs extend up towards the sky, and you can do any movement that you need to. As you exhale, bend that right knee, lower the sole of that right foot down, wrap your hands around your left hammy and trace a few circles with your left toes in each direction. And then cross the ankle over towards that right quad. Let that left knee get heavy. Flex the left foot and then lift that right leg off the ground. Thread your needle, interlacing the hands around the hammy. So you interlace the hands around the hammy. Once more, you're guiding this right knee in towards the body, and that left one is surrendering towards the bottom end of the mat. Try to keep that tailbone drawn down versus lifting up. But again, if it feels good for you, you do you. Another full breath in. And that breath out. You'll begin to release. The sole of the right foot goes down. The left leg crosses to the right side. Take your variation, either squeezing the thighs, blade of your left foot along this right shin bone as the knees come in, or the blades of your feet go out to the left and to the right side, and your hands slide down the shin bone until you're comfortably gripping wherever it feels right for you. Breathe in through the nose. There's internal rotation as you bring the blade of the foot together to the shin bone. One more breath in. Let that breath go. Take your time as you release. And as you release, right and left leg go up towards the sky, knees bend in towards our heart, separating those legs, allowing yourself to grab the blades for a little ragdoll. Rocking side to side. Allow the legs to extend if you'd like, or they can stay as is, whatever feels right for you. Draw a breath in where you're at and let that breath go. All in your breath and time, you'll release, bringing the soles of the feet and the knees together, curling the heels in towards the glutes, lowering the soles of the feet down. We'll extend right leg and left leg nice and long for that big morning stretch. And then on that exhale, our arms come out to the sides until they release by our hips, and we can bend both the right and that left knee for 3 flowing bridges. So flowing means we're going to inhale, lift up, exhale, drop down. So when you're ready, press the palms into the mat, engage the glutes, engage that pelvic floor muscle or perineum muscle and your belly button core muscle. Inhale, we lift up. Take your time as you breathe in. Exhale, we lower down. You're squeezing through the glutes. Hopefully you're feeling it through the glutes and the quad and not your low back. If you're feeling it through your low back as you inhale, it may indicate that we need to work a little bit more on the glutes as well as our core. Exhale, lower it down. One more. Inhale, we lift it up. Spread those toes nice and wide, anchoring, shifting the weight to the heels as we lift up. And then exhale, taking our time as we lower it down. Once we've lowered down, separate your feet, hip width distance apart, knees kiss. And then we can windshield wiper those legs side to side. There's that soft internal rotation of the hips as they come in and external as they go out. Coming back to center, we'll walk our feet back towards one another. Allow the arms to cactus or T out, flat back. Lift your hip up. As you lift your hips up, drop the right hip towards that left side. Pull those knees into your belly. Exhale, a little supine twist. Extend and reach through that left arm. Your gaze is either to the right for softness, directly up towards your sky to a little bit more, or exhale over to the left side. Full breath in here. And that full breath out. Another inhale here. And we'll let that go. As you take your next breath in, turn your head so you're looking up at your ceiling. Even if your eyes are closed, return those feet back down towards the mat. Lift the hips up. And then exhale, shift them over towards that right side. Let the knees fall over to the left. Reach and extend through your right fingertips, anchoring the right shoulder down to the ground. Draw that breath in completely. Don't restrict the passage. And let that breath go fully. Allowing yourself one more inhale here. And exhale here. Then we'll inhale, look up to the ceiling. Bring those knees and the feet back down towards a neutral spine or where you're aligning the vertebrae. Untuck the tailbone, pull the right and the left knee into your chest, lift your head, your back as much as you can off the mat for a squeeze. And then inhale, surrender yourself into your final resting place of Shavasana or that corpse pose. Heels extend towards the corners of your mat, feet fall open naturally, arms are to our sides, or maybe even our hands rest today at the heart space and at our abdomen space. Whichever feels most comfortable for you. You'll breathe in and you'll open mouth side, let it go. Surrender yourself to a place of rest, of nourishment and rejuvenation for mind, body, and spirit. Enjoying these next moments as a gift you've given yourself for wellness and health. Bringing awareness back to your space, to your physical presence. Begin by taking that full breath in through your nose, letting that breath go. Inviting small movement back into the body as you wiggle the fingers, your toes, wrists, and ankles. Letting the spine or the head move from right side to left side until it's back into a long alignment. You'll inhale, extend those arms over your head, bringing your toes together for a long reach. And as you exhale, you'll gently curl those knees in towards your body and maybe wrap the arms around yourself. On your breath and your time, you'll release, extending that right arm towards the back end or the top end of the mat, rolling over towards your right side, resting there for an inhale in fetal position and an exhale. Keeping those eyes closed, press that left hand in front of your belly and rise up into a comfortable seated position. As you rise up into your comfortable seated position with your eyes closed, maybe bring those hands into prayer and at your heart space. We'll draw a breath in together and we'll release this breath together, bowing to ourselves, to the journey, and to one another. May the longtime sun shine upon you. May all love surround you and the pure light within you guide your way. May truth be your essence. Sat Nam. From my heart to yours, namaste and welcome to 2021.